We're ready. Yep.
First order of business is to approve the minutes from the January 14th meeting. Would someone
I'll make a motion to approve as written. Second.
motion and seconded?
Second.
Steve? Second, okay. Who got the second?
Carmen.
Okay, we need a vote.
Voice vote. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, passed.
Okay. Staff report, Jack.
It's going to be a brief one. Construction has started on the Price Chopper and the Porter's Ace Hardware up at the Marketplace project. They're both preparing their foundation work to be able to start putting in footings. That's been going on about a week and a half. Anticipate the store to start going up, the grocery store to start going up mid-March. And then once the walls start going up, it'll start looking like a store fairly quickly. Do not have a definitive calendar or schedule from Porter's yet. I'm waiting to hear from Kent on that. My understanding is their goal is to open at the same time that Price Chopper does, and both of them are wanting to be open before 4th of July. Delay substantially on some concrete walls caused that. Also, at this meeting, we only have one agenda item. It's the survey, and we'll be discussing it. The consultants on this project, our comprehensive plan, are from Washington, D.C. area, Minneapolis area. There's some in Ireland. So we have people all over, and they will be looking at your comments and some of your questions and some of our dialogue on this on the video. So, when you're speaking tonight, I would ask that you make sure you speak in your speaker. If you have to hit the button on, do that as well. So that they can make sure they understand the comments a little better. I will be taking some notes during that process. But it's best to have your conversation and your stuff here on the video so they can look at it tomorrow. Other than that, everything's moving forward all across the board. That's all I got.
Thank you. Jack us in. Let's go to the survey now.
Sure. I hope you had an opportunity to take a look at it, and some of you may have answered it or not. The main reason is to have you provide comments. This is going to be going to the public, released hopefully on the 13th, but we wanted you an opportunity to see if it made sense, if there were things that you thought that needed to be changed, if you saw some typographical errors or questions or whatever. I will let you know that we heard several comments on number 7, that proximity to I-435, not 495. And that one came from everybody but me who reviewed it first. You didn't catch it. So, there are several of them throughout. So what I would like to do is start out, if you guys want to go through it, starting with question 1, work your way down. If you have your questions, comments, concerns through the questions, we can make it easier for me to take notes. So if we can, I'd like to start on question number 1. Well, even before that, anything in the entrance portion of this, the bold letters at the front that seems confusing, doesn't seem to answer what you need to answer, or leaves it open for you to kind of figure out. This will be, as I understand it, an online survey. It's like SurveyMonkey scenario, so it'll pop up. You'll be able to use that system. We will have another written form that will be available for those that don't have access. I haven't seen those yet other than these, but we will address that prior to it actually being released. We'll have a social media post. There'll be something on the city web page to advertise all that stuff. So if you have any problems with the first 2 paragraphs, let me know. Otherwise, we can start with number 1. If anybody's got a question or comment, kind of raise your hand, we'll start through there. Seeing nothing on that, go to 2. Is there anything we need to change on that? Is that good? And then seeing nothing again. 3, how long you lived or worked in Smithville? Yes. Yeah.
Two things I brought up is where there are a lot of people who define living in or working in Smithville, because there are a number of people who live in the county. There are people who live in Paradise, there are people who live in Trumbull, but you ask them where you live, I live in Smithville.
And ultimately, I don't think, as I understand, I don't think that is a problem for the groupings that they're wanting to get. But I will note, I'm going to put the question mark in Smithville question mark.
Is this going out by zip code though, or is it going out?
This will be online and then we will have written versions available for folks.
But a lot of people in Trumbull or Paradise or out in the county know about this, unless
Well, ultimately, keeping in mind Smithville, and as we grow, it's bigger than just Smithville. Our future growth areas are not in Smithville now. Those folks have some input. A lot of the folks that are in the area around Smithville are also interested in the community.
that's what I want to know. That's exactly what I'm
Yeah,
wondering.
yeah, so-
I'm wondering if people who are out in these areas look at that and say, how long you live in Smithville, right? I'm thinking I live in Trumbull, because that count. So I'm trying to find a way to make it more inclusive of the surroundings.
Well, to the extent that the way the question lays out is in A, at the very end, it's got a, doesn't apply to me. That would be where they could say it. Here's what I would tell you. There are all kinds of folks that live in Smithville, that don't live in the city limits, that think they live in Smithville. The 64089 goes all the way over to Todd Street to the west, and halfway to Kearney on the east. And all those folks have Smithville in 64089, and they believe they live in Smithville, some of them do. So,
Those people would see it on social media.
right, and hopefully they will put in A, but some of them will not.
Right.
Some of them just won't even know that they don't live in Smithville.
Maybe if we added a line to 4, I live in Smithville, I work in Smithville, you know, more like I live close by. I live in the Smithville area, not Smithville property. So we add a box to that.
I shop in Smithville.
Yeah, that's all, that's important.
Something more specific than other.
Yeah, on that like this. Or I guess I might cover it.
And ultimately, the question that I'm going to pose to them, and they'll see it on here, I think you guys have clearly enunciated, at least in item 3.
Well, could we do this 3 and 4 though, that so they don't get hung up on 3?
Sure.
Does that make sense? Because if you read 3, you're going to get hung up on, I don't live in Smithville, I may not quit right there. But if you had 3, 4 first, I
That's
guess,
a
you
very good point.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They'll get hung up on it, and they'll continue on.
Well, and I think if they adjusted 3 and 4 with the comment you made related to add an option to 4,
Right.
I think, because it says all of the following that describes how you relate to Smithville.
Right.
With one that says live near.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think reversing that is a very good.
I think it'll take care of that.
Yeah, it should.
Okay. Any other comments? On 3 or 4, or you want to go to, let's go to 4 now. Other than a couple of comments from Dennis directly. I live, I work, I own and operate an elected official in or other. And Dennis's comment is to somehow craft one that's, I live near Smithville. Nothing else, then we'll go to item number 5. Do you think anything needs to be added?
You think we need to add seniors or retirees as a stakeholder?
Say that again.
Seniors or retirees or something like that as a stakeholder?
Yeah.
We have a senior center, so sure.
Yeah, that's good.
Since I'm a senior, I'll be.
Seniors and retirees are a big demographic there, it's just not recognized. I think seniors and retirees even need to have a little box.
Well, to the extent there's one that's for students, maybe
Yeah.
retirees or seniors.
Not all seniors are retirees, so,
No, retirees or seniors, that's right.
yeah. And that would be number 5.
That will be the comment I'll throw to them, yes.
Okay.
Any more? Number 6 is the broad category of topics you identify yourself as being most interested and only select one. So, any questions about what those mean?
All of the above.
Well, to the extent they only want you to select one, which is most important, all of the above wouldn't work. What is your most important issue of all those? Those 4 sufficient? Okay. 7, the penultimate question, why do you live in Smithville? And check all that apply. So is there anything else that you think we need to add? Or any of that cause confusion?
What does overall value mean?
I'm trying to see. Overall value. My guess is the cost of living, the cost of housing,
Okay.
how close you are to work, all those value-added things, and whether it's good or bad.
Price again,
Yeah.
for now.
Yeah.
But if somebody says, oh, checks overall value, how are you guys going to be able to interpret what they meant by overall value? Because overall value to one person might be interpreted to somebody else.
And ultimately, I don't think they want a definitive, this is exactly what it means. Because, for example, the second one says character of Smithville.
Okay.
Everybody's got their own version of what the character of Smithville is, and everybody has their own interpretation. But if it's the character that they came here for, it's the concept of what that is, what drew them to Smithville in the first place, is what they're looking for. Any more? And once again, proximity died 435 versus 95.
Is population accounted for in any of the bullets?
Say that again?
The amount of population, so I guess size.
Okay, let's see, character. So,
Remember.
Maybe small town feel or something.
size of it. Well, the good thing is, if we have one that is kind of particular, that doesn't match up with any of those, it gives them the opportunity to select other than add in.
True.
Any more on 7? The next one, I don't know if there's any other answers other than what they've got. Do you anticipate living in Smithville for the next 10 years, yes or no? And if no, please explain.
So, when we asked the other questions, how long you live, work in Smithville, do you want this one to be living or working in Smithville as well, just to keep it consistent?
I think this one's asking mainly, are you leaving Gary
Okay.
in the next 10 years? And if so, why? If you're leaving, why? You retire in Florida or Arizona, or you anticipate a job transfer to some other state, that kind of thing. And I don't know how they draft these surveys, but I know they do it for a very specific purpose. The next page, starting with number 9, this section is integrating the strategic pillars. When we started the comprehensive plan process, one of the essential things that the committee that selected the consultant had on their plate was integrating the actual comprehensive strategic pillar plan through our strategic plan for last year into the comprehensive plan. How can we use this to help integrate those strategic pillars? So that's what this is intended to do. It has twofold, this section does. Number one is to kind of briefly educate folks on what happened at the launch, what the conversation came out of that with groups of stakeholders. So you'll see that in question 9. Starts out during the launch, they were asked to define how they wanted to define a lifelong learning culture in Smithville. And then it goes through the things that they said in their notes from that launch, the stakeholder group. So, what do you consider to be important elements to building out a lifelong learning culture? And these are going to be filled in when you put in your thoughts on the continued commitment to education.
How much space do they actually allow for this?
I do not know, but it's going to be similar to if the box will expand, you'll be able to type. I would imagine it's going to be more than a tweet, but I don't know. 140 characters is. But the identified things out loud were reskilling programs, continuing education opportunities, and expanded early childhood education were the 3 biggest priorities identified in that stakeholder group. Any of that confusing? Don't understand what it means, or is anything else? Seeing none. Same thing going to 10. What other workforce development efforts do you think would be important for Smithville looking out for the next 10 years? Any thoughts or questions on, does that question make sense?
Yes.
Okay. We only had one comment on number 11. We wanted to clarify that Mid-Continent Public Library is the actual name versus the Mid-Continent Library. We'll throw that out there. This one with 10 options, not at all to critically important, and that is how important do you think it is to have educational opportunities of all levels and types offered in Smithville locations? So go from there, and then you can answer why. Why is it important? Why is it not important?
That's really a very good question.
The next page changes pillars to enhance recreation and connectivity. Again, it starts off about the launch participants and what they were asked to do. All that's based off of the strategic pillar language. And the ideas that were included were increasing tourism, a Main Street trail, apps for trails, and how would you go about further connecting Smithville? One of the already comments that we have is clarify what apps for trails means. And the moderator of that discussion was that they were mobile phone applications for trail usage is what they were talking about. So we're going to have that clarified a bit. Because the majority of people know what apps for trails are, but there's going to be a lot of them as well. So,
Well, they need advertisers.
That's for the senior citizens.
yeah, and if they're not connected to the internet very much, they're not going to know what an app is, especially if their phone's not a smartphone.
It's not that.
You don't have many apps on there. That's my point. The question 13 is enhanced recreation connectivity related to Smithville Lake. And it's talking about that it's core lake and any development must be approved by the core. Given those current restrictions as well as its potential, how developed do you think the lake should become? Question mark there. And as a recreation hub, should the lake be developed as a tourism destination if possible? So there are a couple of questions there asking for the folks to comment. The first aspect of that as it relates to the question, we wanted to highlight that the ability to put a riverboat casino or, any kind of stuff like that on there are limited to what the Corps allows. It's the Corps of Engineers Lake, and they have limitations and restrictions as to what can happen at the lake. You can't build a condo for single-family residential or any of that. You can't have housing there because it's a recreational lake. But there are all kinds of other opportunities. So the question of how to develop that is what this is asking for.
Wouldn't it be easier just to ask for what they allow?
Well, yeah, ultimately, and they're going to say it's this wide range of things.
Okay.
So without going through and picking those out, what do the folks want to see? Because if everybody says they'd love to see apartments on the lake, okay, that's fine, but it's not something we can strive to because we know it can't happen. Corps won't allow it. It's against federal regulation. But getting the ideas is the most important portion of it. Because once the survey is done, if you remember the strategic planning process, they took all that information and synthesized it, and they presented it to all the people that presented it. And that's what the March meetings will be about. Each of these groups will boil down basically. They're going to make a presentation. Here's what the survey said about your building. And let's go into it even more deeply. Next page on page 6, number 14 is enhanced recreation again, and it's got 1 through 10 again with several different options, from pool to dog park. The only comment so far that I've seen is, should we separate pool into indoor pool and outdoor pool to get a balance of those two?
I like that idea because I think an indoor pool is something that could be used year-round, whereas an outdoor pool can't. So I would think to have the option of indoor or outdoor.
Anything else you think needs to be added to the options? Think would be important to add? It's kind of broad-based stuff.
Is having 10 choices, is that like a proven to be the best way to do that? It just seems like there's so much range there, give something an 8 or give it a 3, I mean, what's that tell you?
Yeah, and ultimately, right, because you've got the subjective versus objective judging of these things. It's going to be based upon what the grader grades. I don't know that there's any way to make it any tighter. I know that this is a standard in these community surveys, 1 to 10 or 0 to 10, depending on who's doing it. Any other questions on 14? 15, diverse housing and neighborhood options. It's going to start out with asking you, where do you live? What kind of housing do you live in? The only comment that's been submitted so far is, should townhouse and multifamily housing other than apartments be merged into one? Because townhouses are multifamily housing other than apartments.
You got
Right. But a townhouse can be 2 units or 10 units.
Right.
Because a townhouse is just attached single-family housing. So we're trying to limit that aspect of it to be consistent. Because otherwise, townhouse, then would we need to have duplex and triplex? Because some of those may not be townhomes, but they could be multifamily. But one would have apartment, other multifamily other than apartments.
One person's townhouse is another person's duplex.
Sure.
Sure.
Right. And that's one of the thoughts, my thought would be to pull townhouse out of it because it's awful descriptive. Multifamily other than
Why don't we
apartments.
just go townhouse townhouse slash duplex and leave it at that because.
And, oh, yeah, it is, and then would you want to keep multifamily housing other than apartments in there too?
What about common to
Well, yeah, because we do have the, Smithville Housing, the word is escaping me, but Housing Authority. Those are multifamily. They're not what you would call apartments. So it would be multifamily other than apartments.
Maybe you just say multifamily housing other than apartments, and in parentheses, put townhouse slash duplex.
To give it an example,
Yeah.
Yeah, you have all the lines.
yeah.
et cetera?
And the reason that becomes important is when you go to the next question. If you're downsizing, what are you going to downsize to?
Well,
Downsizing to a townhouse or multifamily housing?
Well, there's the thing, yeah.
But if you explain it like you did in 15, then
Right. And that's the only comment was whatever you do to 15, you have to do the same to 16 to make it understandable.
Well, some people plan to move to a retirement community where
Yes.
you have to be 55 or older. We don't have,
We would like to have that.
I mean, that's just another option.
Right, but I think that would be, is that a single family scenario, the type of house?
It is,
Yeah.
but it's a different neighborhood.
The only thing we don't have in here, interestingly enough, is downsize to an apartment. It's not an option.
we're not going to allow that in Smithville. I'm not.
Get that grade.
Why don't we leave them the same? I mean, leave it alone, because some people, the idea for future growth, diversification of housing is we'd like to see all of them up. We would like to see the apartments and things like that for people who want to live in. We'd also like to see village townhomes. We would also like to see a 55 community for those of us who would like to stay in Smithville.
Right, but it's not really asking about what we're looking for Smithville in the future. It's asking,
Well, 16 is, because it's saying, do you anticipate your housing needs changing?
yeah, that's asking Deb, not the city of Smithville or the community.
But I mean, it's asking everybody,
Right.
do you anticipate your housing needs changing?
Right.
A lot of people do.
Sure.
If you're a single person who get married, and you want to have kids, well, yeah, you're going to want to move into something bigger.
Right. Sure.
So,
And where do you want to go? That's what it's asking. What's the people in Smithville looking for
right.
as a housing option?
And if they want to rent an apartment, they can
Right.
check that over.
And right, they can always check out the review specific, which is a good person is have a senior home, a 55, or a maintenance provider. That doesn't have to be, doesn't have to be senior, that can be anybody with a maintenance provider. Any other thoughts or questions on 15 and 16?
Back on 15, what did you say about you didn't have apartments on your downside?
60
On 16, it's got
other.
all of the stuff above about where you can move to, except for an apartment. It doesn't say I plan to move to an apartment. Yes, I anticipate downsizing my home and moving into, it's got every other option but an apartment. If you look above, apartment's the number one word.
Right, it doesn't.
So you're going to add that?
Yeah, that's going to be the comment, it's already on the list of comments.
It
Add the downsize to apartment.
I think if you put it in here,
Everyone wants more apartments.
rather than just have other,
That's not-
so they say,
Yeah, we get that.
so if you put another circle in there and say, yes, I anticipate moving to a neighborhood surrounding community, that's not an option.
Can you put cemetery in here?
Well, Deb, I certainly understand your comment, that's why it's being taken. They will understand your question.
Well, the reason I say that is because there's going to be professionals out there who are also thinking of a maintenance provided community, and they're not necessarily meeting the apartment complex or the county, because they're thinking of a genuine maintenance provided community. So it's not just my demographic, but it's their demographic also.
Right, I certainly understand. 17.
17 kind of helps us out on the other two.
Right, right, 15 and 16,
Right.
right. How important it is to increase these options in Smithfield.
And there's the age restricted.
Yes, it's there. Assisted living and nursing facilities as well. It doesn't have your other option, Dennis, but I don't think we want to get that far.
Would mixed-use buildings be lived in homes?
My guess is they're talking about similar to some of these buildings down here, where you have retail or office and apartments above. That mixed use in the building.
Because the whole
Yeah,
thing,
just-
and I feel that necessarily to go to the grocery store and make that apartment school.
Yeah, or you go down to Linden Square or whatever, Gladstone, they have restaurants and parks, but
Yeah,
same
it's
concept.
not a Rosa with that, it's
And then 18, this one is, goes over the group that did the stakeholder at the launch. That's all these pictures. We got to do a similar scenario to this. And it basically wants you to identify the type of housings that you'd like to see in Smithville. And that's just check the ones you want to see, leave blank the ones you don't.
So this board that did a retro built new house,
And ultimately, it doesn't identify, and one of the comments we had is, are these going to be available in color? Because I think if they're in color, they look differently than black.
Have some nice apartments.
Right.
Kind of transition.
there's a few neighborhoods in Liverpool where they built these. Yeah, replicas.
Right. Yep.
I'm surprised. That's what he said, looking like that.
Show for you.
Yeah.
They have replica homes. And then it was like 10 through 15 are all kinds of different multi-homes. And to that, to be quite frank, it looks like 14 and 15 are mixed use.
And surprisingly, a lot of people that, at that deal, picked 14.
Yeah, I was surprised.
So look at it, like the south of the town, a good place, kind of transition between Kansas City and Smithfield. They have some nice apartments there. You wouldn't want them on the north side of Smithfield with your single-family homes or like downtown, but at the south end of town, it would be a nice transition.
Don't increase the
Several of
traffic
us
up
out
here.
14 was perfect for us out in the town.
So I was surprised that people picked 14, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's not anything that's handshake in Kansas City.
And we flip to the next page, 19, strengthen business and economic development. Where do you work? And I think it covers most options.
Do we want to cover military there at all? I mean, I know it's another town where they work, but it's kind of another indicator that they're probably transient.
Well, there's a lot of,
I know it can be other.
military. Reserve, reserve.
Well, I don't know, there's a lot of people that work at that. I guess it can be under.
In 20, the only comment I've had so far is neighborhood services, which is about midway through the list of options. What does that mean, is the question that we're in.
And what does that mean?
We'll find out from consultants once we provide it to them. Yeah.
Include services, maybe lawn care, things like
It could be lawn care, like I had trouble finding someone to build my fence, finish my deck stairs, and, usually end up going to someone out of Kansas City.
So we put up the own there.
So, I think that would be included in there as well.
I think neighborhood services have been going on lines of an actual functioning hospital and places like, say, a Walgreens or something like that. Because that could be considered neighborhood service as well.
Any other comments on 20? 21, strengthening business and economic development again. To accommodate for the increased usage to the previous, what type of density would you like to see in Smithville's downtown? And then, once again, it's referred to the images you see on the next page with no change, slight change, moderate change, significant increase in density. Yeah. That would make sense. And hopefully, I believe when you pull it up online, the question and the pictures will be on the same page. Because right now it's like, what? The difficult ones for me. 22, retention of small town feel and sense of community. It lays out the concept of a community oasis that emerged during the strategic planning processes of last year as one of the future scenarios for Smithville. And the concept was where the nostalgic feel of modern sustainability and environmentally progressive overlay. That question was asked of people to launch, and what would the community oasis look like? How should it feel and where should it be located? The responses are identified there as a safe place to relax, walkable, in several places such as downtown by the lake, north and or south end. So the question on this one, after giving you all that, is what does the experience of a community oasis mean to you? Where it would be, those thoughts. And it's a provide your input scenario. Sure.
Multiple different ways.
Right, and I think that came out of the launch, that there were several different thoughts as to what an oasis meant. And does it mean there's one in Smithville downtown, or does it mean there's different types of oases in different locations?
Right.
So ultimately, I think that's the descriptors. Here's what we saw at the launch. What do you think a community oasis means to you? What's it mean? The next one, retention of small town feel. Signage and wayfinding can create, it gives you, that signage and wayfinding came out of the strategic plan.
So I had to read that 4 times before I got it, when I was sitting there when we were talking about it. The wayfinding was kind of, signage and wayfinding, I mean, and I was there. So I think it's a confusing comment, and I was thinking more something along the lines of enhanced signage and directional signs rather than wayfinding. That just confused me. I mean, it's like, are people gonna know what that is? I know it's toward the end, they're getting tired of the survey.
That's clear what you're saying.
Yeah, I like what.
I like that.
Enhanced signage and directional signs. And it's in there twice, the wayfinding. I think I have to.
Wayfinding, it sounds like,
Yeah, it just was
like consultant speak.
right.
It's the modern term of that. Oh yeah, if you Google wayfinding, you'll find thousands of companies that do signs for communities. And that's the word they use, wayfinding. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the concept of where it came from.
We want
It's
small.
the way, you're
Direction.
I want to find my letter, these are the wayfinders.
We're obligated.
I would find a way to.
Yeah, I did that.
Bottom line, it's asking what new signage would help retain the small town feel and sense of community for Smithville. Signage is a lot, were you in that group?
I was right behind.
Okay.
I heard it going
Signage was very important to that group.
on. Yeah, I think telling where Main Street is right now, you know, or downtown, or historic downtown, there was a lot of discussion about that. You just drive by and when you come by. I think that's why the mayor left the flags up all year long, because it kind of drew your attention when you drove past there, that something was down there.
We certainly bought new signs to put out versus the ones we had for the holidays,
Right.
just to have
I
signs.
saw that out there.
You know, the blue ones that are out there now, I've seen, hey, we're still here. That's kind of yeah, they certainly let you know that there's something going on in that direction. 160. 24, retention of the small town feel and sense of community. And it's again 1 through 11. This one actually has the option of unsure at the end. But select your preference with options using that continuum this year. Not at all important to critically important.
Nobody asked what quality of public spaces meant.
Any other thoughts on 24? If not, we'll go to 25, same thing. 1 to 11, continuum. 1 to 10, continuum, and 11, unsure. And this is to maintain the overall feeling of the small town, Smithville. It's
There's that way from you.
I saw it either. You know, when it says wayfinding, it's signage.
wayfinding and gateway
So it's,
signs.
yeah, it's worded different.
Yeah.
Over on the-
So if it says wayfinding signs,
Yes.
it's understandable.
But it doesn't say that on 25.
Yeah, yes. Any comments on 25? And then 26 and 27 are pretty straightforward. You provide your any other comments you want to add. In my email to you last week, I gave you you all should have gotten a separate email from the comp plan group itself that identified here is the portal for the sign-ups to these task force that identifies the times and dates of each of the task force meetings in March. The current plan is on February 13th, this survey goes out. 2, 3, 4 weeks, I don't know the exact amount of time it'll go out before they start compiling all that information. Then the week of March 23rd through the 26th, Monday through Thursday, following the school's spring break, will be the pillar meetings. So there's going to be Monday is, I think, enhanced recreation, reliable portal money, and then Tuesday's got sense of community in the afternoon, and then evening, the economic development one, which happens to be on the night of the economic development committee, will be here at City Hall where their regular meeting is. So that group will be here. And then Wednesday afternoon, it will be housing.
Wednesday afternoon.
Yes.
Do you have the date for me, it's like
No, I do not. I don't know which day they are. If you go to the portal and sign up, you'll need to sign up and register for it. In that email I sent you, should have a link to it. You click on that link and you can sign up directly there, and it tells you the exact time and location of the meetings for each of the 4. The education one is going to be separate as a strategic pillar. It'll be
Yeah, I
outside.
may have to reach out to you for another email because I'm trying to, if I've seen that email or not.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I can certainly resend it to you.
The housing one is March 25th.
Okay.
March 20th.
March 25th.
So housing's on Wednesday.
2 o'clock.
At 2 o'clock at the library. That means economic development is Tuesday night, 24th at 6 p.m. Sense of community is 2 o'clock on Tuesday at the library. And then Monday will be recreation and connectivity at 2 o'clock at the library.
So I need that, could you send that? email?
Yeah, I'll send it back out to you guys again.
Thank you.
I just have a few comments, not necessarily for us here, but for that black thing hanging there on the stand. This is a wonderful professional done. I mean, however, there are some things that I feel we're missing. Using the term small town feel as we grow and develop is almost like describing jungle shrimp. I always wondered whether or not you could have your cake and eat it too. It's, there are people that I know that would consider that an impossible dream. You just cannot. I mean, it's the definition of growth and density. One of the 4 things that I feel that we're lacking are the 4, what I call the 4 legs of the table. That's police, fire, education. Well, education is there. And health, nothing was mentioned about the hospital. Drugs, crime, the poor, Section 8, all these realities that come with, and I don't even know what Smithville considers itself to be anymore. Are we a town? Are we a city? You understand what I'm saying? There's even categories in between those two. So I feel it's been skeletonized, and the data is very concrete for bean counters and planners, but it doesn't really get the feel of the unpleasant realities. That in traffic is another one. Public transportation is yet another one that might be missing here. Are you listening?
Yeah. Now I will give you some information, and I will ask that you continue. Following the public input process, there will be a lot of data gathering by the professional planner group out from Washington, D.C. that gets a lot of that demographic data, the housing data, all of that, and will assemble it so that they can start mixing the public input and the actual data, which will include all the census stuff. I doubt they will be in a position to use the 2020 census data, because I don't think it will be assimilated yet. But they will have the 2019 ACS stuff. So it will be fairly close to where we're at. It won't be the benchmark stuff that you get in the census, but it's...
I'm very aware that a lot of these things that I brought up probably would comprise more of a social survey, culture, social, that kind of thing, rather than concrete data. This is math, if you will. And what I just brought up might be sociology.
Right.
Anyway, those are my things, and congratulations to the authors of this survey. It's an outstanding survey.
Any other comments, questions, issues that you want the consultants to be aware of?
I'm going to be thinking about that jumbo shrimp for a while.
Comment on something too, I'm talking about now, because a lot of other things are in here too, but do you want restaurants and stuff like that? This hospital thing has stuck in my craw for decades. And what set me off again this evening is coming down W, getting ready to turn on Mill 69, I say, oh, there's a nice little blue thing that says H for hospital. So somebody coming down Deputy saying this little age for hospital, who needs to get to hospital quickly is gonna think, oh, we've got a hospital here. No, we don't. That's important. That's really important, and I don't know if the strategic plan or any of this can work towards getting our hospital back. But it's a worthy effort, and it's important to us as a city or a town, where we may be and where we may become. Medical care is extremely important, and that hospital should be a critical part of it, as a hospital. And I think having that sign out there that says H that way is extremely misleading.
That aspect of it, I can notify ODOT. I don't know what their standards are, they put those signs out
Yeah.
based upon something, I guess, it's just the extent it's.
Honestly, I think it's someone else, because they would think they could come to the hospital when they can't.
They said, they turned you away.
Okay. Anything else on this, the survey? Next on the agenda is public comment, seeing none, we don't have to open it.
No, it's just a general public comment.
Good. All right, before we hear a motion to adjourn, let me just mention, I will be out of town for next month's meeting, so vice chair. Okay. You're big. All right, then, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? Yeah, second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
None. Thank you all. There it goes.